beautiful legacy. Every line, every curve leaves a trace of who we were.
You're listening to Beautiful Legacy. I'm your host, Tiago Pinto, and this is your short daily pause to learn from the people who shaped how we live, shop, work, and move. In each episode, we take 10 minutes to revisit one creator and uncover the ideas, the systems, the choices that still define our world today. Today's story starts in Paris, in the year of 1986. A railway station stands silent, a monument to the past, forgotten by the city it once served. And then, Gae steps inside. She sees not ruin, but rhythm. Not decay, but potential. She transforms the Gare d'Orsay into Musée d'Orsay, turning an abandoned shell of an industrial age into one of the most visited museums in the world. Her name was Gae Aulenti, and she spent her life designing spaces that connected what was to what could be. Gae Aulenti was born in Udine, Italy in 1927, a quiet northern town shaped by agriculture, fog, and a cultural mix of Slavic, Austrian, and Venetian influences. Her father, a practical engineer, taught her to see structure and logic. Her mother, a teacher, encouraged her intellectual independence. This combination, discipline and curiosity, defined her worldview. At the Politecnico di Milano, she entered an environment where women were exceptions rather than peers. Her mentor, Ernesto Nathan Rogers, pushed her towards the idea that would become her life's anchor, the continuity of history. Innovation, in his view, did not reject the past, it interpreted it. Aulenti absorbed this entirely. She joined the New Liberty movement, opposing the emotionally sterile modernism dominating the post-war Italy. Rather than worship the new, she sought dialogue between eras. That became her intellectual identity, respectful, critical, and poetic. Her early projects demonstrated how powerful reinterpretation could be. At Palazzo Grassi in Venice, she transformed an 18th century palazzo into a contemporary art center. She preserved the noble scale of the rooms but inserted new steel and marble elements with disciplined hand. The result was not a clash of centuries, but a calm conversation. In Rome, the Scuderia del Quirinale, once a papal stable, became a modern exhibition hall without losing its Baroque gravity. She stripped away confusion, not identity. Other interventions follow the same principle: clarity without erasure. Aulenti never treated heritage as a fossil. To her, history was a material, as alive as stone or steel. And then came her masterpiece, the Musée d'Orsay. The challenge was monumental: how to place 19th century art inside of a 19th century train station, without turning the experience into nostalgia or pastiche. Aulenti's response was both bold and respectful. She kept the iconic station clock, a literal reminder of time as witness. She preserved the iron arches and glass vaults, allowing natural light to dramatize the galleries. She designed freestanding exhibition platforms, creating a central spine that organized movement without suppressing the building's scale. She oversaw the design of lighting, furniture, signage, and fixtures, ensuring total coherence. The result was not simply a museum. It was a choreography of eras, industrial grandeur meeting impressionist delicacy. Aulenti didn't just rescue a building. She redefined how the world thinks about adaptive reuse. Her impact spread beyond architecture. She created furniture for Zanotta, lamps for Martellini Luce, theater sets for Luca Ronconi, showrooms for Olivetti, and, of course, interior concepts for Knoll. Each object had the same clarity as her buildings, purposeful, calm, and never decorative for its own sake. She learned to speak many design languages, but always with the same accent, intelligence, empathy, and presence. What does it all mean for the world today because of Gae Aulenti? Walk through any major city today and her influence is unmistakable. The idea that an old industrial building can become a cultural landmark, this is her legacy made mainstream. Adaptive reuse became a global standard. Museums in former factories, hotels in old warehouses, universities in repurposed industrial halls. This movement gained intellectual legitimacy through her work at d'Orsay and beyond. Heritage is no longer seen as an obstacle. She proved that preserving history is compatible with creating contemporary culture. And of course, museum design changed. Instead of blank white cubes, cultural institutions increasingly embrace their architectural context as part of the visitor's experience. The tension between old and new became a creative opportunity. Designers today treat historical structures as collaborators rather than constraints. These are the standards so familiar today that we forget how radical they once were. We live in a world shaped by her ability to make the past modern and to make modernity humane. Gae Aulenti passed away in Milan in 2012, just days after receiving the city's gold medal for lifetime achievement. Her life's work redefined what architecture could do with history. She turned ruins into relevance, monuments into motion, and nostalgia into renewal. Today, every restored factory turned gallery, every warehouse reborn as a cafe, every adaptive reuse project carries a trace of her vision. She taught us that future doesn't begin with destruction. It begins with listening to what already exists. And that, truly, is a beautiful legacy.
Beautiful legacy.
You've been listening to A Beautiful Legacy, a short moment of clarity in a world built by remarkable minds. If it inspired you, follow the show and join me again on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Until then, keep noticing the beauty people leave behind.
Beautiful legacy. Every line, every curve leaves a trace of who we were. In the shape of a chair, in the light on a wall, someone's dream still stands tall. But